أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين والسيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهد الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له نشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أيتها الأخوات أيها الإخوة أحييكم بتحية الإسلام تحية من عند الله مباركة طيبة السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. MashaAllah, we have heard the words of wisdom of our brother Imam Zaid Shakir again, and it's an honor for me to share. No, it's nothing. Don't be scared. Remain serene. Just the way we are facing sometimes some of the troubles today. It's a very important topic when it comes to you shall not kill, and to understand our tradition as Muslims and one of the commandments that we have. We are facing today a pressure internationally and nationally about Islam and violence and our relationship with violence and killing innocent people, resistance and war. And I think it's very important for us to get a better understanding of the Islamic tradition. We need two things, and I will come back to this in my conclusion, but we need better knowledge, a better understanding, and we need more courage. And I will come to this because I really think that today the psychological pressure that we are facing is a kind of a jihad, which is an effort, resistance. The way I define jihad is not war, it's not only effort. The very meaning is effort, but mainly is resistance and reform. And I will come to this understanding during my talk. Understanding the Islamic tradition as the first point of my introduction is really to come to the different levels and the chronology and to understand what was said first, what was said after, and in which way the overall message of Islam is asking us to deal with killing, violence, war, and in which way we have to understand this. So really we have to come to this, and this will be my first part. And I want you here to be quite attentive, because really it's to be aware of the principles. Because if we are serious about adding something to the understanding of the world, in the pluralistic world, for you in Canada, you are citizens, you are living with people, fellow citizens, they might not understand what Islam is, you might not understand what are your principles, and you might not understand what is coming from other traditions, and I really think that we have to just take a moment to understand better our tradition. Now, not only it's important to understand, but we are facing reality and our daily life and what is happening at the national level and the international level. It's important to know now we have the principles. How are we going to implement that? What is, in practical terms, our attitude towards wars and conflicts today? We have to be practical. And anyone who is telling you, you know what, at the end, even if it's the previous American president of the United States of America saying Islam is a religion of peace, we have to be very cautious. It's a very simplistic statement. The objective of Islam is peace, but you have to face conflict. And the first conflict is in your inner self. No. It's forbidden. I know some people came to me and say, stop with this fatwa, it's not helping us. I'm sorry, you have so many other lectures when you can clap. Now you concentrate during 40 minutes. It helps me and it helps you. But the point here is really you have to face conflicts, and the first is وَنَفْسٍ وَمَا سَمَّوَاهَا فَأَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا. In yourself you have this attraction that you love the beauty and truth. This is the dimension of al-Iman. حَبَّبَ إِلَيْكُمُ الْإِيمَانُ وَزَيَّنَهُ فِي قُلُوبِكُمْ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala beautifies Iman in your heart, and He made it something that you like. So you like this truth and this light. but at the same time, زُيِّنَ لِلنَّاسِ حُبِّ الشَّهَوَاتِ, you are attracted by the world, so it's conflict. Jihad al-nafs is just to master this in yourself, so it's to make peace. But peace is an objective, and conflict is a necessary means. And this is very important, and you will get it at the collective level. So all the people who are only speaking about peace, peace and love, be careful. Peace and love are objectives, and we have to be ready. It's not because you are speaking about peace that you are not going to face hatred. And this was the fate of all the prophets and messengers. And this was what the Prophet, peace be upon him, ﷺ, heard from the very beginning from Waraqah ibn Nawfal. They are going to reject you. You come to speak about love and peace, they are going to reject you. Because the call for peace is not heard by all the people, because people are attracted by oppression and power and money and greed. This is what we have to face. So if we want to be instrumental and to come with something which is positive in our societies, we should be ready for that. Calling for peace, knowing that we are going to face conflicts, and we have to solve that. So this is the understanding of Islam in practical terms. And then we also have to acknowledge the fact that from the very beginning, what I'm going to say here might be one interpretation among interpretations. And there is something in Islam which is a diversity of interpretations. It's an accepted diversity. So the Prophet, peace be upon him, ﷺ, from the very beginning, he accepted different interpretations of what he was saying among the scholars, among the companions. So the companions who became scholars for us, he accepted this. Between, the differences between Umar ibn al-Khattab and Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhuma, this was accepted. He accepted this. He was dealing with a diversity of opinions. It's not because we differ in opinions that we are less Muslims. So there is something which is called an accepted diversity. Now, we should be clear that there are limits. There are things that are beyond what is accepted, that we can say it is not Islamic. You can even say it's against Islam. Just after what happened in the United States of America, but not only. Start with this, please. When the people in the West, in Canada, are talking about violence against civilians, please don't only speak about the States or Madrid or London. Speak about Dar al-Bayda, Morocco, Bali, Indonesia, Iraq, Afghanistan, Palestine. Speak about all. They all have the same value. No. So this is something which is the starting point of our position. You start by speaking about all the human beings around the world, and you don't buy this differentiation between what is happening in the West and what is happening in the Muslim majority countries or in the South or in Africa. While I'm talking now, millions of Africans are being killed and there are civil wars. We don't talk about this. It's as if it's not existent. It's not in the media. And when it's not in the media, it's not a reality. And the problem is, it's not only not in a reality for our fellow citizens, it's sometimes not a reality for Muslims. You today are less concerned with what is happening in Palestine because it's not in the media. You are very often media followers because you are not informed. While the people are suffering every day, we have to be serious about justice and know what we are talking about. So this is something which is the starting point of our discussion, which is now there is an accepted diversity and there are things that are beyond what Islam is accepting, and we should be clear on that. Now let me come to the principles of our religion, and to start with the chronology, because it's quite important. It's quite important to understand that at the beginning, when the Prophet ﷺ was getting the revelation, from the very beginning, the fourth revelation, but أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها المزمل, it's the beginning. According to Suyuti, it's the fourth revelation. The Prophet ﷺ heard وَاصْبِرْ عَلَى مَا يَقُولُونَ وَهْجُرْهُمْ هَجْرًا جَمِيلًا. Meaning by this, you are going to be attacked, be patient, be perseverant, be endurant with what they are saying, and exile yourself from them. Don't react, just take a distance. So you have to resist, which is a peaceful resistance. This is the starting point. And then it happened that they were always putting a pressure. what he got from the Quran. وَلَا تُطِيعَ الْكَافِرِينَ وَجَاهِدْهُمْ بِهِ جِهَادًا كَبِيرًا. The first time you have the concept of jihad in the Quran is in this verse, saying what? Don't follow, don't obey the people who are denying God, denying the truth of your religion. Don't obey. The first attitude, don't obey. Stand up, don't obey. And then, وَجَاهِدْهُمْ بِهِ. He here is the Quran, intellectual jihad. So they are going to attack you, respond, but with your mind, this is the starting point, which is peaceful and then intellectual resistance. But there should be an intellectual resistance. I would like to see Canadian Muslims intellectually resistant. So you have to equip yourself. You are not going to face the psychological attacks if you are not intellectually equipped. وَأَعِدُّ اللَّهُمْ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُم مِّن قُوَّةٍ. Quwwah, power is intellectual power as well. Be equipped. Read. So this is the problem, which is the Quran it's giving you this necessary means to resist. But it's not the only thing. You have people attacking you and you have to be equipped. So this is the starting point. Sabran ya ala Yasir. The Prophet ﷺ, when they were oppressed, he was telling them, be patient, perseverance. Maw'iduna al-Jannah. So they are torturing you, they are oppressing you, but you have to resist in a peaceful way. This was the first attitude. And this attitude is very important for all of us. It means that there is one strategy when you are oppressed, is to be intellectually equipped, but not violent. So you exile yourself. So this is one thing. Is it the only Islamic message? Is it the only thing that we got from the No. When they arrived in Medina, after this oppression was so heavy, the Prophet ﷺ sent people to Al-Habasha to protect them, and then it was too much. So he had to leave the country. And he arrived in Medina, and he said to the Muslims, arriving in Medina, Ifshu salam, spread peace. Now we are coming here to settle down, spread peace. أطعموا الطعام, سلوا الأرحام, صلوا والناس نيام, تدخلوا الجنة بسلام. Peace, it's all about peace. And at the same time, while the people in Mecca, they wanted to destroy them, they wanted to kill them, they wanted to remove this Islamic community, أذن للذين قتلوا بأنهم ظلموا وإن الله على نصرهم لقدير. This is what Abu Bakr as-Siddiq understood, and he heard and he said, we understood with this verse, it was a question of war. We are going to struggle, we are going to resist. Permission is given to the people who are oppressed to resist. Meaning by this, you have now to stand up. If you want to survive, you're not going to be always okay with a peaceful resistance. They want to kill you, stand up. So this is also part of the Islamic message. The legitimate resistance. You are going to be killed, you have the right to resist. So this is something which is important for us as something which is part of a dimension of Islam. It doesn't mean that the